Rated mature audiences only. Viewer discretion is advised. Broadcasting from the Big Peach of Atlanta, Georgia. A show unfiltered, unscripted, raw. The Patriot Angle Podcast. All right, guys, welcome to tonight's show. Welcome, guys. As you know, or you probably may have known, we had some tech issues with our software that we use through Restream. Not sure if it was a glitch on their system or they were having some technical issues on their end. But for some strange reason, we could not get the live streaming for our Unfiltered Wild Friday tonight. We were supposed to have Soslin supposed to join us tonight, our special guest. We did contact him, and he will be most likely on tomorrow's show. We're going to be doing a special Saturday show. So look for that tomorrow, Saturday. Hopefully he will be joining us. He was very understanding about what happened and this and that. But, guys, we had a technical issue on our end through the Restream network. So sorry we couldn't get out a live stream. I did cancel out the program that was being uploaded to YouTube and Twitch. So like I said, guys, not really sure what happened. I know our stream was supposed to be broadcasted to the YouTube network, and you know how YouTube is. Sometimes they, they like to shadow ban and basically filter out people. So, I'd like to think it was that, but, you never know. You never know, right? But, guys, I wanted to come on here. I wanted to give out a show tonight. Like I said, it's not going to be a live show. As you're hearing it right now, this was a pre-recorded roughly about an hour ago. So right after we tried to do the live stream, producer Eric and I started doing the pre-recording for Spotify tonight. This episode, like I said, will be on Spotify, Google, and Apple. So as you're listening to this episode, like I said, it was a pre-recorded. I want to get into some stuff here that I was supposed to get on our Twitch and YouTube show. Guys, we were talking about throughout this week, the Supreme Court Justice nominee, right? Jackson, literally being slammed and grilled by a lot of top senators and congressional leaders. Ted Cruz questioning the new SCOTUS nominee on her record through the child pornography, showing records here of just, literally, do you believe, and basically questioning her, which I touched earlier this week on my show here, questioning her about what needs to be done. These people don't belong getting a little slap on the freaking wrist. These people belong in jail. It's disgusting. And they're abusing these children. So I agree with Ted Cruz. I agree with Senator Lindsey Graham of South Carolina. Again, grilling Jackson over the child pornography sentencing. She believes it should be a little light sentencing. Light sentencing? They should be in jail. Check out what Lindsey Graham had said. This is Lindsey Graham literally grilling the nominee on policy versus right doing. You know, this is crazy. Literally crazy shit that we have to deal with. Literally. You know? Like, listen to this.
On a computer, looking at sexual images of children in the most disgusting way is to supervise their computer habits versus putting them in jail?
No, Senator, I didn't say versus.
That's exactly what you said. I think the best way to deter people from getting on a computer and viewing thousands and hundreds and over time, maybe millions, the population as a whole, of children being exploited and abused every time somebody clicks on is to put their ass in jail.
You're damn right. Put their ass in jail. That's where they belong. They don't belong out on the streets. They're predators. Literally predators. That's not what I said. Well, what did you say? Crazy shit, guys. More on this. We got, the five literally reacting to the same way. Reacting. Saying that it should be, there shouldn't be anything on this matter.
Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson back for another marathon round of questions today on Capitol Hill. Jackson being pressed by Lindsey Graham about her sentencing in child pornography cases.
You think it is a bigger deterrent to take somebody who's on a computer looking at sexual images of children in the most disgusting way is to supervise their computer habits versus putting them in jail?
No, Senator, I didn't say versus.
That's exactly what you said. I think the best way to deter people from getting on a computer and viewing thousands and hundreds and over time, maybe millions, the population as a whole, of children being exploited and abused every time somebody clicks on is to put their ass in jail.
But don't worry, the mainstream media has already rushed to Jackson's defense and is lashing out at Republicans for daring to ask the judge questions about her own record.
The word I would use for Tom Cotton was thuggish. I thought Lindsey Graham was screamy and weird, Josh Hawley, ridiculous.
I mean, quite frankly, it looked like I saw Ted Cruz commit a hate crime.
That line of questioning, which was so grotesque from Lindsey Graham.
Republican grievance signaling. RGS.
It's amazing to watch someone who is quite frankly, an intellectual giant be questioned by people who have really no idea about the law.
All right.
Yeah. They don't know about the law? Oh, Ted Cruz, he was committing a hate crime, and this is liberal media raging over GOP questions in the Jackson hearing. The media rages over like, oh, Ted Cruz was committing a hate crime. Lindsey Graham was being a little weird and whiny. First of all, let's go to Lindsey Graham. How in the hell was he committing, was he being whiny? Was he being out of line? He was questioning a nominee for the highest court in the land. Questioning her on policy, on law and order. How? How is that being whiny and overdoing it? Let's go to Ted Cruz. How is Ted Cruz committing a hate crime? He's asking a woman what her ideals are on this issue. And she says light sentencing? People should be in jail if they're committing this type of crime. My God. And then, oh boy, I'll plug in a video later on in the show today about literally when they did ask her a question. You know, what do you consider a woman? What is a woman? She couldn't even answer the fucking question. Are you kidding me? Come on. 1 and 1 equals 2, right? Last time I remember, I mean, I did go to grammar school. 1 and 1 equals 2, right? I mean, But here is now the View literally reacting to more of this crap. This is crap that we have to deal with in the federal government. Check this out, guys.
would rather have a probation officer check a guy on his computer than put him in jail when the guidelines recommend jail.
Well, I would say that she's soft on crime. Did I answer that question?
Yeah.
Yeah, she is soft on crime. She's soft on crime. I'm telling you, folks, this is the sick society we live in today. The sick derangement of society that we live in today. You know? But no. Now the liberal media will go on and literally, question that all of this is hate crime and people being not fair to Jackson, right? They're not being fair to Miss Jackson. They're showing hatred. They're not showing hatred. They're asking her simple questions and questions that she can't even answer. Here's more key moments of literally, more senators. This coming out of Cory Bush, questioning the Supreme Court nominee, right? This was back more on the hearings. This happened to be from day three, Wednesday, just 2 days ago, on Cory Bush, literally questioning the nominee, the Supreme Court Justice nominee. Literally had her in tears. You got to check this out. I mean, this is, I'm not trying to, make fun of the woman or this and that, but I mean, if you can't answer a simple question, my friend, you are not eligible to be a nominee, not only for the highest court of the land, but for any nomination close to that faction. Check this out, guys.
And it's important, as consistent with my judicial methodology, for each branch to operate within their own sphere. That means for me that judges can't make law. Judges shouldn't be policy makers.
Judges can't make law? What?
Design, and it prevents our government from being too powerful and encroaching on individual liberty.
There is a love in this country that is extraordinary. You admitted it about your parents. They loved this nation, even though there were laws preventing them from getting together. When they were loving, there were laws in this country that would have prevented you from marrying your husband. It wasn't that long ago, it was last generation. But they didn't stop loving this country, even though this country didn't love them back. Today, you're my star. You are my harbinger of hope. This country is getting better and better and better. And when that final vote happens, and you ascend onto the highest court in the land, I'm going to rejoice. And I'm going to tell you right now, the greatest country in the world, the United States of America, will be better because of you.
Does sentencing have a...
That was Booker there, right? I did say Cory Bush by accident. That was Booker there, from New Jersey, right? I'm going to rejoice when you become the nominee that gets put on the bench, right? Come on. Bunch of bullshit, if you ask me. I'm telling you. But that's what it is, folks. That's what it is. I want to close out this here because I think we talked enough about the Miss Jackson's key moments there, right? I think, I think we know where it's going to go. Of course she's probably going to be planted, in the Supreme Court, because one, she does show, a black culture, and I'm not trying to be racist by saying that, but we all know where it's going, folks. I think you and we both know, right? She's going to be planted there and I use the words loosely, planted, because, this is not only a pick, but a pick that the Biden administration did on purpose. We all were told by the Biden administration that there will be a black woman nominated for Supreme Court Justice, right? We were all told that, were we not? But I'm going to move off to the topic here. I just wanted to touch a little bit on this topic because I didn't get too much into it earlier in this week. I'm going to move on to other things, guys. I'm going to be right back after these words. Don't go anywhere. Patriot Unfiltered Raw.
Good evening, everyone. To all the press that's here, you must be getting very tired. Am I the 16th or 17th? At any rate, all kidding aside, thank you for taking the time. Today marks 1 month since Russia began its carnage in Ukraine, the brutal invasion of Ukraine. And we held a NATO summit the very next day. At that time, my overwhelming objective in wanting that summit was to have absolute unity on 3 key important issues among our NATO and European allies. First was to support Ukraine with military and humanitarian assistance. Second was to impose the most significant sanctions, economic sanction regime ever, in order to cripple Putin's economy and punish him for his actions. Third was to fortify the eastern flank of our NATO allies, who were obviously very, very concerned and somewhat worried what would happen. We accomplished all 3 of these. And today we're determined to sustain those efforts and to build on them. The United States is committed to provide over $2 billion in military equipment to Ukraine since I became president. Anti-air systems, anti-armor systems, ammunition, and our weapons are flowing into Ukraine as I speak. And today I'm announcing the United States is prepared to commit more than $1 billion in humanitarian assistance to help get relief to millions of Ukrainians affected by the war in Ukraine.
Hold on, let me stop it right there. All right, he's, I wanted to get off the, the Supreme Court Justice nominee. I do, folks. I don't want to be on that damn topic, and basically bore you, the listeners, with that crap. Let's get more of the, somewhat what's important, what's going on with NATO, right? I mean, it's very, very sad that we have to, rely on, our allies such as NATO, to somewhat come to a peace treaty, negotiations, if you want to call it that. Our president has to be flown over to Brussels just the other day and talk to our NATO leaders, right, to see what the determination should be with the whole Russia-Ukraine. We're still on Russia-Ukraine, right? We're not talking about COVID anymore. I think that's pretty much down the damn toilet. No one's really caring to talk about it, little by little. Yeah, we're getting a little, kind of news on it. But, I think everybody kind of understands where COVID is. It's down the toilet bowl. I mean, it is. I mean, whether you want to agree with it or not, I see this here of what's going on with our president. And we have a president, literally, folks, that doesn't understand what the hell is going on. I've said this time after time. Folks, the elevator doesn't go up to the top floor with this guy. It doesn't. It stops pretty much on the second or third floor. It doesn't go all the way up. There's problems. Just like we had problems today with our live stream, right? You have problems. I hope to have these streaming issues cleared up soon, because there's a lot of people that do look forward to our live streams. A lot of people are like, hey, we want some more live streams, and we will get them out there. Hopefully this doesn't become an ongoing issue. But folks, the elevator, like I said, it doesn't go up to the top floor with this guy, president. It doesn't. There's a lot of issues. To the whole world. On behalf of all of us in the USA who didn't vote for this man, literally, I myself, we are sorry to send this man to represent us. Please, please forgive us. Literally. I mean, I'm sending that message to the entire planet here. That I know I didn't vote for this guy. And I sure as hell am not going to vote for him in 2024. And I hope you don't vote for him either. Or if you have in 2020, I'm sorry. And I'm sure that you're seeing, just what corrupted leadership actually shows to the American people. Because, folks, we are seeing corruption at its best, its highest level in so many years. I mean, this president is probably the worst president, worse than Nixon, worse than Jimmy Carter, right? I mean, at least Nixon and Carter kind of, yeah, they fucked up. Don't get me wrong. They did. They fucked up, But, Nixon, he resigned. He knew his time was up. And Carter literally was suffering all forms of dementia. So is Carter and Joe Biden similar in somewhat of ways? Sure. They both clearly shown high levels of dementia. I mean, to see this president, almost 80 years old, talking, trying to have a somewhat of a decent conversation to the American people is very, very, very nerve-wracking. It's embarrassing to hear this man. Folks, I'm not showing hate. Please, understand what I'm trying to say here on the show. I am not showing no forms of hate. I'm showing honesty. I mean, seriously, when in history of presidents or leaders have we seen a guy call on specific reporters by name and what things might have to occur before to facilitate such a display? I mean, seriously, folks, here's another example. If I answered the phone and sounded like Joe Biden, I would have no clients whatsoever. I wouldn't have a response. No one would want to buy my products. I mean, it goes into further, then he goes into answering questions by reporters. One reporter coming in and asking a question. You got to listen to this, folks. I mean, this is really okay, Joe, let's try your best there, Joey. Listen to this.
So you've warned about the real threat of chemical weapons being used. Have you gathered specific intelligence that suggests that President Putin is deploying these weapons, moving them to position, or considering their use? And would the U.S. or NATO respond with military action if he did use chemical weapons?
Yeah, there's a pause by Joe. See, he had to pause. He's like, well, and then they paused his mic. Did you hear it? And we'll go right back to it here. Where Joe Biden doesn't know how to answer the question correctly. Listen to this, guys. This is embarrassing. Our president of the United States.
Question, I can't answer that. I'm not going to give you intelligence data, number one. Number two, we would respond. We would respond if he uses it. The nature of the response would depend on the nature of the use. Josh, Bloomberg.
Perhaps I'll just project, Mr. President. Thank you very much.
hide your voice, I'd have been elected a lot earlier.
I'll give it a try. He's got a long arm. Thank you. Can you talk to us about two things, sir? One, since your conversation with President Xi of China, have you seen any indications of action or lack of action from China that has led you to believe whether they will intervene and help Russia, either with the sale of arms or the provision of supplies to support this war in Ukraine? And secondly, can you say whether the conversation today turned to the subject of food shortages and what the U.S. will do to address wheat shortages in particular as a result of this war? Thank you.
On the first question relating to President Xi Jinping of China, I had a very straightforward conversation with Xi now, I guess it's 6 days ago, 7 days ago, in that range. And I made it clear to him, I made no threats, but I made it clear to him that make sure he understood the consequences of him helping Russia, as had been reported and as what it was expected. And I made no threats, but I pointed out the number of American and foreign corporations that left Russia as a consequence of their barbaric behavior. And I indicated that I knew how much he, because we had long discussions in the past about...
Wow, Joe, we're asking, now the reporter is asking about food shortages, right? Literally asking about food shortages. And he's going, like he's baffling onto something entirely different that has nothing to do with what the reporter initially had asked the president of the United States about food shortages. He's talking about, I didn't make any threats to President Xi of China, and basically was referring to Russia. And, Joe, we're talking about the fucking shortages of food. What the hell does it have to do with with other countries? I mean, come on. Are you people not seeing this? I'm seeing this. I mean, Joe Biden, literally, and I'm going to quote this here, I don't think you would find one European leader who thinks I'm not up for the job. I'd have to agree. I think you'll find they all know Biden isn't up to the job. Yeah, that last part, folks, I put that in. And that wasn't part of his initial quote. But, folks, come on. Are you not seeing this? I'm seeing this. This is embarrassing. Literally embarrassing. That we have a president that doesn't know what the hell's what's going on. There's no way in hell that this president got over 81 million votes. No way in hell. I mean, I don't know, folks. I don't know. I mean, this is literally the worst president administration of all time. Worse than Barack Obama, worse than George W. Bush, hell, even worse than Carter, Nixon, and Clinton. I mean, ay. But the poll numbers, oh boy, the poll numbers. We're going to get into the poll numbers, folks, right after these words. You're not going to want to miss this. Kayleigh McEnany, literally saying that the poll numbers are outrageous. They're out of control. Right after these words, guys, don't go anywhere. And then we're going to close it out here on the show.
My name's Kyle Stumpenhorse, and I'm the owner of RR Buildings. Before I even make my first cut on site, I make sure that I've got business insurance. Now, that's where Next Insurance comes in, and let me show you just how easy it is to set up right here on your phone. All I have to do is go to the website. I'm going to enter in
Democrats are facing an uphill climb ahead of the midterms, and it starts from the very top of the party. Imagine that. A new Fox poll shows that 54% of voters disapprove of President Biden's job performance, and now his allies are abandoning the administration's unpopular policies. Jason, I saw an Associated Press headline, Russia-Ukraine war fails to buoy Biden. That was the essence of it, and that's indeed the case. Fox has him at 45% approval, Rasmussen 41%. It gets worse. Reuters 40%, Grinnell Seltzer 34%. These numbers are egregious.
Well, yeah, you would think that what's going on in Ukraine would distract from inflation, what's going on with the energy prices, what's going on the southern border, all these other problems that Joe Biden created by the policies that they instituted. Democrats are going to try to run away and blame a whole lot of people like Putin. It's all Putin's fault. But the reality is it's the actual policies that they instituted. And you just wish the President of the United States would go to the American people and to the regulators and to the government and say, you know what? Let's take down every barrier. Let's become energy independent, and let's supply Europe with the energy products that they need. That'll drive American jobs. It'll drive down the cost of gas, and it'll make America better and stronger. But he won't do that. That's why he's going to be in the minority in Congress. He's going to lose the House, and he's going to lose the Senate.
Yeah, he's going to lose it. Oh, the midterms are right around the corner, folks. He's going to lose that midterm. The Democrats are literally, they're going to have to pack up their bags soon, folks, because, the American people, they're seeing this. They're seeing what a president or what type of president we have in the Oval Office. The man is not fit for this job. I've said this long before he ever became president. I've said this during his campaign trail. I've been saying this, calling this out in my podcast, even, when he was hiding into his fucking basement. The man is not fit for this job. And we're clearly seeing that. I'm sure the people that voted for this guy, the clown, the clowns, the sheep out there, they're starting to see this, right? And then they go by these poll numbers, the poll. Absolutely no way his poll numbers are that high. There's going to be some kind of, glitch here and there where they're going to kind of glitch it up to make him look good and hype him up and everything else. But now, even the Pelosi machine, right? The liberal machine here of America, they're starting to blame Trump even more. It's all Trump's fault. That's why we're having this conflict with Russia and, the Ukrainians, and, we're having food shortages and gas inflation and prices skyrocketing. It's all Trump. It's all Trump. It's all Trump. Guys, Trump is not in office anymore. Stop blaming somebody that is not in office. Start taking initiation to the person that's really to be blamed, and that's Joe Biden. He's running the show at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, not Donald Trump, right? I mean, let's set the standard here, right? Voting for Biden is like hiring Jeffrey Dahmer to cater your dinner party, right? I mean, yeah, it's a little joke there. I hope everybody kind of got what I was trying to say. But even the rig polls have him low. Just imagine how bad the real poll is. Oh, I know it's bad. It's up there, folks. I mean, he's polling between a 25 to a 34. That's Biden's poll number. That's the real poll numbers. The real poll numbers are soon going to be in the single digits, folks. It's getting down to that point. The USA, right, was net energy. Was a net energy exporter when Brandon took office, right? Let's just remember that our country was a net energy exporter when Joe took office, right? Brandon, you want to call him that? He's done all of that he can to break the U.S. energy production and the U.S. economy just in a year and 2 years almost now. 2 years. We went from a energy independent country to a country that's literally begging other countries right now, such as Venezuela, Cuba. I mean, countries that literally that don't have any money whatsoever. We're begging these type of countries to help us out. Literally begging them. Please help us, help us, help us. Right? Folks, Joe dug himself so deep in the ground that even Kamala's passage of time can't help him. I mean, literally, dug himself in the ground. Dug us in the ground along with him. But, you know, what's going to happen in the future here? I'm going to close it out, folks, and I'm going to tell you completely what's going to happen. I predict, and this is my prediction here, this is, we're almost coming up to the month of April, right? Next week will be the first week of April, okay? This is my prediction. He's going to lose the House and the Senate, but I'm more worried he's going to lose the country, war, economy, immigration, inflation, oil, and etc. He's going to lose all that, folks. And we're literally just going to go down the road with this. Folks, we can't have this crap anymore in this country. We need to look at the midterms as a prime example to get these freaking clowns out of office and move forward. That's what we have to do, folks. We have to move forward. We cannot move forward under Biden. Under his leadership is going to kill us as a nation. We need to bring back you-know-who, and I think you know who I'm talking about. Guys, again, I do want to apologize for tonight's live stream. Like I said, had some technical difficulties with big tech, right? Not being able to stream live on Twitch and YouTube tonight. I was really looking forward to that because I was supposed to have a guest, coming on the show. But he's going to make his efforts to join us tomorrow. We were in contact with him. He's going to make his efforts to join us tomorrow on a very special stream, live stream. We're going to do the live stream, hopefully get the live stream in. I like doing Spotify, Google, and Apple podcast episodes. I also like doing the live stream. You know, it engages our listeners, our followers here on the show more, which I love. You know, I love to get the engagement. I love to get the understanding of, what the listeners and followers want out of this podcast, right? We're growing. Don't get me wrong. We're still growing as a podcast, guys, and we're going to continue to grow. But like I said, guys, we're going to try to get our guest tomorrow on, Soslin. That will be joining us tomorrow evening around 7 p.m. He said he's going to try to get on around 7 p.m., so that's going to be pretty good, right? We hope to see him on tomorrow. If not, that's okay. We do understand that he has a schedule different from ours, and it's okay. We'll try to get him on in the future. But with that being said, guys, thank you for tuning in to our Spotify, Google, or Apple podcast episode, and we will hope to see you tomorrow evening, guys. Thanks a lot. You just heard an episode of the Patriot Angle Podcast, an Anchor platform.